Going into the political part of the podcast, you have Senator Chuck Schumer asking the FDA to examine Prime. Yet another reason to be involved and aware of politics if you own a business or if you're a consumer. Now, Prime is an energy drink that is most well connected with the influencer known as Logan Paul. He advertises the absolute crap out of it, and apparently it's a collaboration in which you have a manufacturing company and him coming together with joint ownership. And he always has it on every show, every interview. The brand is prominently displayed. And in terms of criticism and why Chuck Schumer wants the FDA to examine it, he says he's concerned about the caffeine levels, which is ridiculous. You can never have too much caffeine. Caffeine is the best thing in the planet. You never have too much caffeine. You just really have 2 or 3 pots of coffee. Never have any side effects. Caffeine's the best. You don't need to rest. Someday I was a poet, but I didn't even know it. Now, specifically Chuck Schumer that notes that the little things of Prime, the 12-ounce Prime can, or I think it's plastic, whatever the beverage container is, it contains 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is equivalent to 6 cans of Coke or 2 Red Bulls, which he's probably got to be talking about the small ones. They have like 12 different sizes these days. So, not the best analogy because there's a lot of variables with the Red Bull sizing, but people understand the idea. They have a lot of caffeine in them. Now, his perspective and why he thinks it's an issue is because of the potential demographic of who's watching Logan Paul. Now, the people watching Logan Paul usually have a decreased brain cell count between 12 and 29. Joking, moderately. But a lot of them are youth. They're kids, which caffeine, obviously, for children, you have to be especially careful. And right now, the Prime drink does have a giant warning, a little warning on it, similar to the CDs we used to buy, which CDs and phones, I'm aging myself. CDs is known as a compact disc. It actually be a piece of plastic with some metal flakes on it. They compact it and they use a laser to write data on it. You put it into a computer or a PlayStation 2 more accurately, and you listen to music or play a video game or watch a movie. But if it was a music CD and it had some expletive language, you have a little warning on there that says, expletive language. If you're a parent that actually does their job, you should pay attention to this and not buy it for your child, or also, review it. Now, that goes on to a whole different tangent of parents not doing their job. But nevertheless, with certain products in the United States, you have these extra warnings. Now, if you look at some of the energy drinks, you have Monster, all the Rockstar. There is a description, little disclaimer. It says, not for pregnant or nursing women, which that's not very inclusive language these days. They're going to get sued, I'm sure. Now, they also say not for people sensitive to caffeine. So Chuck Schumer is saying, hey, he didn't say this, but they do have a warning already. I don't think he brought that point home, but he is concerned that they're targeting children. And he also argues that the product is very bright in terms of all the colors for the bands around it. They're very neon. It's very attractive from an eye perspective. And he's saying that, kids are attracted to the colors. And because of Logan Paul's audience, that's probably the main demographic of who's seeing this product for sale. And you do have some schools that started to carry the product, and then the schools actually did their research. I know many don't. They realized the high caffeine levels, and then they banned it from their schools. Of course, they still have enough corn syrup to kill a horse with the little sodas that they do sell at the schools and all the food that they sell, but you can't have that energy. I moderately digress. It'll be interesting to see from a political perspective, is he trying to get this product pulled from the FDA, also known as the Food and Drug Administration? Is he trying to get the product pulled? Does he want a bigger warning label? I'm not sure what his end goal is, but from a business perspective, they should be pretty scared because never, ever, ever, ever has increased regulation or increased scrutiny increased their sales. With the exception of maybe 1 or 2 companies with the exception of maybe firearms, because brilliantly when there's a rumor of an additional firearm law, the sales just exponentially increase. That might be one of the few instances where it's an inverse effect. Granted, that also it really doesn't count if the law passes because then you can't buy the product. But yeah, if I were Logan Paul, I'd be pretty little concerned and thinking, how might we change the product or change the marketing of the product so that it is not scrutinized as much? Because more scrutiny, they're going to decrease their sales. And we'll see. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. We're trying to get to 3,000 subscribers, so every time you subscribe, it really helps the channel out. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. The feedback is greatly appreciated. We've made the show better and better thanks to your input, whether it's me pontificating more hand gestures, or putting images on the screens in front of me so I can try to keep more eye contact. All the feedback really helps me make the channel better and better. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your coworkers, tell your friends, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.